I'm Tom Fishburne, and I am Marketoonist and founder of Marketoon Studios. For me, it started actually before Twitter, before social media, really. Just that cartoons, I think, are some of the most social media out there. They've always been shared. People have always tacked them up on their fridge walls or their cubicle walls. I just came into this because I fell in love with cartoons. Being a marketer, I started to realize it's pretty powerful to communicate with an audience using visual media. It can simplify complex ideas. You can use humor as a Trojan horse. People empathize and see themselves in the cartoon. And I started to realize that cartoons could actually work for marketing messages. So I have two purposes, actually. I first came at this through being a cartoonist myself, but as I grew the business, I started to realize that there were a lot of extremely talented cartoonists out there who I see as some of the world's best storytellers, but they're relying on newspapers and magazines, which are declining. And a lot of these guys just have incredible talent and no place to apply that talent. And so I started to expand Marketoon Studios to match their talent up with brands that need great stories. The other purpose for me is that people see themselves in cartoons, and so I started to realize that cartoons can reflect some sort of felt need that people feel about a particular situation. And so what I like about cartoons is that it's entertainment and great content first, and the fact that it's sponsored by a brand doesn't get in the way of the fact that people like to share them. So I find the best cartoons are not a one-way conversation, they're more of a two-way conversation. You think of the classic New Yorker caption contest where people are literally filling in the captions. But even when it's all there, they have to somehow solve the riddle to make the joke funny. They put themselves into it. And so I think the best marketing conversations work that way too. They're two-way. And so we try to develop campaigns so that cartoons are really conversation starters. It's not an end, but it's a start to a conversation. I think there's been so much of a focus for so long in marketing that marketers defined a particular message and then they just repeat that over and over and over again, and it works by a sort of command and control style, that the success is when the consumers parrot that back, and that's completely fundamentally changed. Don Draper is no longer in charge. Ultimately, the people that we reach, the audiences that we reach with our marketing messages are the ones who are in charge, and what will determine the success of a campaign ultimately is if it's worth sharing. That's the real barometer of success. If people share it, not because of what it says about the brand, but what it ultimately says about themselves.